Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. Funding for Chautauqua Sunrise is provided in part by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, with offices in Jamestown, Dunkirk, and Westfield, helping businesses to prosper throughout Chautauqua County. From supporting people with disabilities to enjoy great lives, to providing health care services that are available to anyone, the Resource Center has been improving our county for more than 60 years. Learn more about how the Resource Center makes a positive difference in people's lives. From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Hey everybody, I'm Doc Hamels. Got a frog in my throat. Yeah. Good morning. Hope you're all doing well, and thanks for joining us on Chautauqua Sunrise here at Access Chautauqua, Spectrum 1301. Well, Mayville wins again. They beat me over in Ripley on the hill. You're 14 degrees, we were 15 degrees. Brr! I think the wind chill factor gets you down around 4 degrees. So if you're out there meandering or taking your morning walk, put on an extra sweater or make sure your face is covered. This is hypothermia weather, and you can get some pretty good frozen skin out there. All right. Want to say good morning, of course, to everybody once again, wherever you are, because we are streaming live, and we just added Tennessee to our map. We had somebody viewing that not too long ago, and I do know that people watch us across the world, so always leave us a little note, or at least a like, and we'll check it out. Good afternoon to all my listeners on WRFA 107.9, low power to the people. How's that for my radio voice, Mike? That's pretty good. Okay, I have a former radio personality in the house here. Thanks for listening in the afternoon on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. And so happy we could bring the show to you. This month is February. Happy February. We've got today's show, which is going to be really interesting, and then the next couple of weeks is going to be musical, and then, so keep your eyes posted for who's going to be on, but we're going to have some musicians on, so kind of lighten up the month. We've had such a heavy stretch here these days with all that's going on. I thought we'd bring in some music. Let's see, what else is going on? All right, so we are all in the same boat right now about vaccines. I've talked to some people who have gotten their shots, some people haven't, and people are saying, where do I go? So one thing I can recommend, two things I can recommend. Number one, if you are computer literate, look up Chautauqua County government, and they have and go to the health department site, and then they have a link that you can connect to where you can register and see if you're eligible. And basically they ask you when your birthday is, your name, address, phone number, and stuff like that. So get on that list, all right? At least do that much. The second thing I can recommend is what we all do, and it's called networking. I talked to somebody yesterday and they said they got their shot. And I said, well, where did you get it? And how did you do that? Start talking to your friends, start talking to your relatives, your neighbors, find out what they're doing. Eventually, we're all going to get our shots. But if you're really concerned, call your doctor's office. And most of them don't have the shots, but they might be able to tell you where the latest clinic is right now. I heard CVS might be coming online. I've heard the county is doing some. I've heard some doctor's offices are. So it's still a list that's being formed, and probably I would say in another couple of weeks we're going to have a solid list. But if you're really concerned, just start asking your friends where they're getting their shots, especially folks that are over 65. I understand that they just included anybody with, I think it was diabetes and a heart condition, that they're supposed to be now high on the priority list as of yesterday, I believe I heard. So these aren't rumors. I'm pretty sure that I'm confident these are true. And so hang in there, just keep wearing the masks, double up if you have to, if you go into big crowds, and just stay the course. I know it's tough, but if you look at the statistics, 400 and almost 60,000 people have perished from this thing. And as I say, I'm going to get my vaccine, because if you could ask one of those people before they got COVID if they would take a vaccine shot, I have a feeling they would say yes. Okay, so let's do that. All right, moving along. Valentine's Day is coming up next weekend, and shop local. Lots of very, very cool mom pop shop stuff. A lot of stuff that people are offering in their own venues, in their stores for Valentine's Day. If you're looking for something special, check out all the local places here. They got some really good things. Locally at my hometown, Meter's Restaurant, one of my underwriters, is featuring a special Valentine's Day weekend, special meals and things like that. And yours truly will be providing background music. I might even sing a song or two at the end, but mostly it's going to be guitar music. So that's going to be on Saturday and Sunday next week at Meter's. All right. My Rotary Club, Westfield Mayville Rotary, is collecting, I know this seems hard to believe, but at my house it's kind of normal, Christmas cards. You know, you might say, why would you do that? Because all year long we are collecting them, and we are going to these are new cards, unused cards, all right, not old ones, but new ones or unused that you may have stashed in your closet, under the bed, or in the basement, whatever, and then we sign them and we distribute them to nursing homes, the VA, Meals on Wheels, and so forth at Christmas time next year. Last year we gave out 1,800. This year we did 2,000. That's 3,800 cards. And as I told you last week, we've gotten reports that some people that are elderly or at home or there's whatever, that was the only Christmas card they got. It's not the end of the world, but this, you know, the human factor really is huge in our lives these days, especially with this COVID, and it's our Rotary's way of trying to reach out to our fellow Chautauqua community members or wherever. I mean, we've sent them outside of the area. So if you have Christmas cards and you would like to donate them, give a call at 736-4255. It's our Rotary Connect number. So it's 736-4255, or you can give them to any Rotarian in the Westfield, Mayville, Ripley area, Brockton, and we'll be happy to accept them. And if you are still stumped and you have them, you can give me a call here at the studio at 716-753-5225. And as always, throughout the show, if you have a comment or question, you can give us a call at that number, 716-753-5225, for my guest or myself, or you have anniversary or birthdays, do a shout out to anybody. Okay? Let's see if any other announcements I have here. No. So I'm going to go to my announcements from the community. As always, we encourage you to send in your announcements, and we'll be happy to share them with you. So we're going to go to Jamestown, and we're going to talk about my very, very good friends at Infinity. It says, join the fun. New students are welcome. Now, if you didn't catch the Christmas special that we ran 2 weeks in a row, you missed a really great show. It's on YouTube, but Infinity students have been here over the years, and they're just plain awesome. So let's see what they say. If you're interested in music, art, dance, or theater, then the Infinity Center is the place for you. Join us as we continue to offer safe, in-person learning opportunities for students of all ages. Digital lesson opportunities are also available for students who wish to learn from home. Again, Zoom. Visit our Facebook page to see how we're making safe in-person lessons available. So they're at Suite 101 in the Lynn Building, downtown Jamestown, over on 2nd Street. Okay, so you might want to give them a call at 664-0991, 664-0991. They're always looking for new students. Or you can go online to, all one word, infinityperformingarts.org. Okay? All right, moving along. This is cool. This next one's kind of cool. I haven't seen this before. Movies from the Reg. Movie Candy Pop-Up, the sequel. Okay, I don't know what this is about, but it just looks cool. Come down to the Reg and pick up some movie candy for the weekend. Got something called the Super Bowl. Reese's Cups, Airheads, peanut butter M&Ms, my weak spot. Skittles and Starburst for $2 a box. Cotton candy for $3. Cash only, all sales under the marquee at the Reg Linné. Special thanks to the Jefferson Middle School honor students who made this possible. Okay, so they're having kind of like a fundraiser, it looks like, or just getting people out to get some candy and have something for the weekend. And then they're streaming movies from home. You can do that, or you can do this. Bring your movie candy home and enjoy a new film. You can rent and stream a selection of new movies from Magnolia Pictures and Kino Lorber while helping the Reg. A portion of the proceeds from each rental benefits the Reg Linné Center for the Arts as it prepares to reopen. And we've been talking about that. Click an image above or a movie title below if you go on the site to rent or stream from home. And if you like a delicious meal to eat before your film, you can go to the Forte restaurant before you picked up your candy. So they're just having a package deal here for you. So movies are available streaming this weekend, and I guess you just go to the Reg Linné website and click on that particular icon, Movies at the Reg, and you can have some cool movies. All right, let's move on. We've got some notes from Todd Tranum from the Chamber of Commerce for the county. And I like to cherry pick different things that they put out each week. And I like to think about what would be of interest to all of us, not necessarily business owners, but because it affects, you can't pull these apart. Everything is connected here, right? So there's Tuesday Talks, Vaccination Challenges and Opportunities. We were just talking about this ad nauseum before the show. It's a growing series of Tuesday Talks that the Chautauqua Chamber of Commerce and the Manufacturers Association of the Southern Tier are proud to present. And they have a panel discussion around COVID-19 vaccination challenges and opportunities. This event will be held via Zoom webinar at 8:30 Tuesday, February 9. Now, webinar is sort of like Zoom, other than the fact that you just kind of watch it and listen, and it's informational, and they don't generally see you, I don't think, and you don't talk to them, but you just kind of watch. It's an online informational program. The panelists will include Chautauqua County Health Commissioner Christine Schuyler, Dr. James Sherry, who's the Executive of the Chautauqua County Health Network. Additional panelists from the local medical community are still being confirmed. This program is free to attend, but donations, of course, are welcome. It's sponsored by the Observer, the Post-Journal, and Univera Health Care Southern Tier. Advanced registration is required, including an email for each attendee, so that we can send a direct link to join the meeting. To register, visit the Chamber's online calendar at, all one word now, chautauquachamber.org. Okay, if you want to participate, chautauquachamber.org. Then they have something called Tuesday Talks where the state tax commissioner is going to review budget issues. This webinar continues on February 16th with Michael Schmidt, the Commissioner of the New York State Department of Taxation and Finance. He will begin by reviewing the proposed executive budget for the coming year and will also answer questions from members. This event will be held at 8:30. Tuesday, February 16th, is sponsored by the same folks as above. Please register online, as we talked about, at chautauquachamber.org. Okay, so they're trying to provide information to businesses and the folks out there to check it out and to know what's going on at the Albany level and at the county level. Now, there's something new here. I haven't heard this one before. It says, follow the red brick road for a virtual scavenger hunt. Even while some doors remain closed or restricted for local attractions, the tradition of showing off our myriad of local museums, institutions, and recreational facilities goes on. You know, it was 13 months ago, that we were just talking about Open Doors Jamestown and everybody was going to go do things and we were just plugging along like normal. And then something happened in March and everything got shut down. We are being creative as a community, and this is one of those really cool things. Listen, Doors Open Jamestown will be held online this year, featuring a fun and engaging online scavenger hunt. The theme is Follow the Red Brick Road. Viewers will have an opportunity to enter the scavenger hunt, searching for the Wizard of Oz type themed items, strategically placed in each video from each local attraction. There will be chances to enter each time you spot a special item in the video. The more entries you have, the better chances of winning a prize. Prize packages are being donated by the local attractions in addition to Chautauqua gift cards from the Chamber of Commerce. This sounds like fun. In addition to the focus on nonprofit attractions, this online event will highlight many of our local businesses. Watch for more details to be announced soon, including links for viewing this unique event beginning 12 o'clock noon, Saturday, February 27th. Viewing opportunities will be available on Facebook and YouTube. So hopefully I'll have that information, but that sounds like something to do some afternoon, especially in February. All right, safe and healthy practices will get us back to normal from the chamber, and they're saying wear a mask. Don't gather in groups, wash your hands. All of these routine practices have been drilled into our brains for many months. At the same time, we have seen an increase in coronaviruses in Chautauqua County in recent weeks. Even as the COVID-19 vaccines are being rolled out, it remains crucial that we all take precautions to keep our customers, employees, and families safe. The Chamber and the Manufacturers Association remain committed to communication that assists local businesses in all types as they continue to apply for loans and grants to help you get through this most unusual time. So the Chamber of Commerce is there for you, and you might say, well, I'm not a business. Yeah, but you go to those businesses. So they are helping the businesses that serve you. So we're all connected. And finally, Jim Brickman supports the Reg Lene. All right. Grammy-nominated songwriter and piano sensation Jim Brickman will continue to entertain fans in February with Share the Love, live virtually. A portion of each ticket purchased to this live event will benefit the Reg Lene Center for the Arts. Fans and their families can enjoy this unique virtual concert experience from the comfort of home while supporting the Reg Lene for the Arts during this challenging time. Brickman will bring the live concert experience up close and personal with Love by Request concerts filled with his own hit songs such as Love of My Life, Destiny, Angel Eyes, I remember that one, and Valentine. Brickman will warm the hearts of all as sweet sounds of love bring family and friends together to share the love. That was kind of an interesting sentence. 5 live stream video concerts will be performed Friday, February 12th through Sunday, February 14th. Showtimes and tickets are available at reglene.com. Brickman previously performed at the Reg in 2014 and 15 with Valentine and Christmas tours, as well as virtual concerts in December 2020. that's it for now. We're going to take a breather and stay tuned. We're going to be right back for a really interesting show.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
I have to laugh when I see that little PSA. That was one of the things that I always really hammered hard on my kids. And to this day, they all get it. They know what they got to do financially, and they don't come to me very often. Feed the pig. Okay, waiting patiently in the wings is long time friend Mike Ferguson from Fredonia Place. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
I was thinking on the way over, how long have we known each other? We go back to
Long time.
to the radio days.
Yeah,
When would that have
yeah.
been? 90s, in the 90s anyways.
You know, I'm terrible at that. Everybody asks me all the time, what year did you do this?
I
What
was
year
at
did you do
Laguita
that? And I'm
Center
not so
back
sure.
there somewhere
Yeah,
around there. So,
yeah. And I think we met originally through our wives. And,
Yeah,
and through
yeah,
you. You were
yeah,
with
yeah.
Bosse's.
Diane
My
and I
wife
worked
was at
together.
Bosse's,
Yeah.
And then, of course, through radio and everything else, and the jammers. And
our lives have crisscrossed like 1,000
That's
times.
right, 1,000
it's like
different times.
I look up, there's Mike.
Yeah, you're here for a political election.
Yeah,
I'm here for this.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
always something going
Yeah,
on.
and
That's
I've
pretty
interviewed
great.
you in different levels, so good to see you again.
Same
And,
here.
you freaked me out yesterday when you sent me that text message. That was was the anniversary of last year's show where you were holed up in Fredonia and you couldn't get here, and you slid off the road. I felt terrible, but the show went on.
Went on.
We had your picture up here, and we did all right.
Right.
But here's my promise to you: next year I'll skid you in the spring.
Around St. Patrick's Day. That'd be great.
Nothing happens on St. Patrick's Day, of course. Mike, I really enjoy having you on here, mainly because Fredonia Place has been connected to this studio for many years, and it's a little bit of a throwback to the Reed Powers days when he talked a lot about senior issues and things like that. As you know, I've kind of spread out as far as my theme and mission, but I've always had a very warm and dear feeling for our seniors, mainly because I'm one now. And but watching my parents move into their senior years and dealing with things that they did, and the advice that you've always brought, and I think you've been on this show the last 6 or 7 years or something
Sure.
like that. So every time you come on, you always bring something new and fresh for us to think about. And let's just say it was 7 years ago was the first time you were here with me. Well, people might have only been in their 50s at that time or
Yeah.
early 60s. Now we're almost, it seems hard to believe, but closer to a decade later. Things have changed dramatically in many respects.
Yep.
Some things are the same, and then the laws and the rules and regs and all that stuff have changed. So I want to just kind of paint that as today's framework is people have to make decisions right now for their parents or for themselves as far as where they're going to live, because as they get older, that it's not always that easy being at home, right?
Right. And that, that's something that we've talked about for a long time. And what I mean by that is there's a saying in the business that it's never too soon.
Right.
It can always be too late, but never too soon. Also misconceptions that we've talked about. And our parents and our parents' parents always thought of facilities as nursing homes, as someplace that
You go to
we're
there,
going to die.
Right, exactly.
It's the
Go
last
there,
step.
It's like the elephant graveyard, right?
And it really, that's not what they are anymore. It's really an enhancement. There's so many people we talk to now that say, life is so much better now than it was when I was home. I don't have to shovel. I don't have to, do the laundry. I don't have to cut the grass. There's things I don't have to take care of. I don't have to repair the roof. I've got time to actually spend doing things.
Yeah.
And normally, in normal life, which I hope we get back to someday, you don't have to. You can be as active as you want in these communities, not just inside the building, but out. We have people who golf. We have people that still have jobs. We have people that volunteer at churches and in the community, part of Rotary, those types of things. And by the way, thank you very much for your time with Rotary. I mean, Rotary, I think it's the civic groups in our community are very, very underviewed as
And
for value.
so necessary.
Yeah.
Kiwanis, Rotary, the Knights of Columbus, the
Lions,
whatever,
everybody.
Lions Club,
Yeah.
Optimist. I'll forget somebody, I'm sure, but they're all doing good work out there.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how much work they're doing, and that if they don't do it, nobody's doing it.
Well, but you've also hit during that conversation on a very good topic, and that is human interaction and that human touch. And a lot of people are very, I'm staying home, nobody's going to tell me where to go, blah, 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 blah. But they're lonely, and they're not going to tell you that they're lonely. They're not going to tell you that they're not getting out of the house, especially now. And when all of a sudden they see friends, people they worked with, people they went to school with, they make new friends. That's part of our job, is to help them make those new friends again and help them be active. It really does change their lives. And it's not the end of your life, it's another part of your life.
Yeah, another chapter. Every time you mention this, and I probably say this every time, but I'll say it anyways, is that I had 5 great years with my dad after my mom passed, where I went up to Buffalo every week, and my dad and I just spent like every Wednesday morning through early afternoon together. And we would laugh about this. We called it the talk. And I said, Dad, you're 92. You don't need to be in this 3-story house doing your laundry, cooking for a shop,
Yeah.
But he loved it. He enjoyed it.
Sure.
He said, I'm okay. I said, okay. So you'll note that I did my job. And he laughed. He says, yes, you did. And we had the talk. And I said, okay, we'll be at this again in 6 months. And we would do that. And the thing I think I regret that Dad did not decide to change residence, because after he passed away, I just could tell going through his things, he was lonely. Yeah. Whether it was, and I can't describe why, I know that he was. And he was a very social guy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do a plug for you guys right now, because as you know, your folks had hired me over the years to come and play music. It was fun. It was great. Everybody was laughing and talking, and
yeah.
I can't say his last name because I don't remember, but Bob, I remember he was like the mayor zooming around.
Bob's still there.
Bob's still there. Tell him I said hi. And of course your mom, who had this smile like this big.
Yeah.
People were happy and they were engaged, and they really enjoyed their life there.
Right.
And so I wish. Part of me wishes, because you can't make decisions for your parents, I don't think, at least while they're of sane mind and body, that I wish that perhaps he would have considered that, or at least checked it out. And
mentally, you don't want your children, you always want to be strong for your children. There's no doubt you want to be strong for your children. And so I think for men, the lone wolf syndrome comes into play. And the same thing for women. They're caregivers, they're nurturers. They don't want their kids to know, gee, I'm going through this, going through that. So you're always going to hear, I'm fine. Yep. You're always going to hear, everything's great. And it may be, not, but in many cases, it's not. It's not fine, and it's not good mentally. We're seeing that right now. This is probably, it's the worst situation in my lifetime that I've seen with this COVID. Yeah. And even surrounded by people in a facility like ours, there's still a small form of depression because you're not able to do the things that you want to do. Not that we restrict people, but they're self-restricting.
Yeah.
They're not going out to the things that they normally go to. They're not doing the things that they normally do. And it's responsible. They're being very responsible because, that's how this gets passed on. But you can still be lonely encircled by 100 people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so activities is very important. That stimulation, that getting a card, that getting a phone call. We do a lot of things like the video chats, Skype and Zoom and FaceTime, and we do it all, and we try to do it every day as much as we can. We schedule those times with family members so that it's convenient to them and it's convenient to the resident. But this has been a very brutal year with COVID. And I mean, if you read the paper, if you watch TV, you can see the numbers. It's very real, and it's something that only we as a society are going to be able to make it work.
You know, before the show, we were remarking about the newspaper. Now, I have no idea what was the reason why these people have passed on. But in the last month, when I opened up the Post-Journal, there's 2 pages of pictures of people.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is not normal. I mean, I don't think it is, just from my own observation. I mean, typically you might see, I don't know, 8 or 9 pictures and names. I mean, there's like 25 or something like that. So I have a feeling that something is contributing to this.
Yeah, and you know, you hear all the stories and the fallacies, and you know, one of them is the doctors in the hospitals make more money if they call the flu the COVID and somebody dies of that. Well, you know, we have seen people go to rehab where they maybe have a bone fracture or a hip or something like that, and 3 weeks later they're gone, and that's not the reason why they were there.
Right.
So it's just great. What you said earlier, what Todd Tranum and what the CDC and so many others say is very true. You know, it is an inconvenience to put on your helmet when you ride a motorcycle. It's an inconvenience to put on your seatbelt when you're in a car. It's an inconvenience for a lot of things, but this is not only protecting yourself, it's protecting everybody around you to wear a mask, and the simple things Mom used to tell you, to wash your hands, and all these other things. Simple things that for some reason has become political footballs in defiance. And you know, we were talking beforehand, and I said, it's not going to be nuclear war, it's going to be arrogance and stupidity that puts us away. And I think that's, we're responsible for our fellow man. So Fredonia Places, knock on wood, we don't want to brag because so many of our facilities in this community right now are on their knees, but we have been able to keep our residents at 100% COVID-free.
Wonderful.
We have had staff members in both facilities, the one in Fredonia and the soon-to-be open in Williamsville. And people say, well, how do you have someone in Williamsville? We do have some of the remaining Sisters of St. Francis there because it was their facility. And part of the deal to buy the building was that they could remain
right, I remember you telling me that,
Unfortunately, they've had to go through all the construction process with us on it. But so we have had employees, but keep in mind that employees are leaving the building. They're going to do things socially and that type of thing. And so, and I think for a lot of buildings, visitation and/or some employees are unintentionally responsible for some of this. You know, so we're not bragging, but for 11 months. We've been able to keep both facilities COVID-free. And so that's we understand the skepticism of people to say, you know, I see what I see in the paper, I see what I see in the news, I'm not sure I want to make that move. It's probably, any facility like that is probably one of the safest places for you right now because we are doing things to try to keep people safe.
Like what?
We started with PPE before it was popular to wear PPE. When there was talk that it was heading towards America, you know, our staff geared up and have been gearing up. Maybe not to the extent that you see in New York City with the scars on people's faces from the mask and everything, but with the different things that we have to do, the mask, the sanitation, the 24-hour sanitation. And you know, that's a tribute to all staffs, our staff in particular, but anybody who works in this business. It's been a trying time to wear a mask for 12-hour shifts, to wear PPE for 12-hour shifts. But it's a responsibility not only to myself, to my wife, but also to my coworkers, but most importantly to our residents. So, and every facility is doing that. That's not to say that people are not doing that. It's just a very, very difficult time. So as much as we talk about the mental stress on residents, the stress on staffs is just absolutely incredible. You know, we've cut our hourly commitments to employees to 8 hours per shift. It's very difficult, even in normal circumstances, to be as sharp on hour number 12 or 13 as it is hour number 8 or hour number 1. And that still is very stressful. So, and it's also very difficult in assisted living. It was somewhat easier to quarantine people. If you say, gee, we have to stay in our rooms, but now we have to bring you every one of your meals. We have to come to you for every one of which is fine. That's what we get paid to do. But it was tough on residents. When you're talking about memory care and you're talking about dementia and Alzheimer's situations, it is very difficult to quarantine people or make sure they wear their masks and those types of things. So it's a difficult business. It's one we're proud to be in, but it is a decision that is more difficult for many right now because of COVID.
Now, as far as your residents, you said some work.
Right.
How does that work? About work?
Very few, but they'll volunteer time. They call it work. Some, we know a couple of were involved with like smaller businesses,
But
types of
but
things.
how's it work with COVID?
Not now, and not now. Well,
Oh,
we
they're
do
not
have,
doing it now, but
we
they
do have
were.
some sisters that do have. We have people that do sign language at church, and they've had to curtail some of that. Or we do have some that actually give lessons to students on with special needs, those types of things. It's been difficult for them not to be able to go to work. We've had people that volunteer in churches. Most of that church volunteer work is done during the day when there's fewer or no people in the building, either through maintenance or repair or that type of thing. Many are now doing it via Zoom or video chat.
So you're doing practical protections if they do leave the building and re-enter them.
Right.
So
By state law, an assisted living facility, which is we are an assisted living facility, memory care facility with an enhanced license, unless mandated by the state or by local government, we cannot prevent someone from leaving the building. So you think about the fact that we have 70-some residents at Fredonia Place, and they have voluntarily, for the most part, decided to remain in place. That's a tough decision. In other words, we can turn around now, and right now the rules with New York State, this week, today at this time, state that if they leave the building for something other than a doctor's appointment or something along those lines, something medical, that they do have to come back in quarantine now. So they're back to that rule that was in place around Christmas time. But besides those time periods, the Christmas time, holiday time, and now, if Joni wanted to go out to dinner with her family, good luck finding some place that was open for dinner.
Yeah.
They were allowed to do so, and so that makes it difficult too. But our residents have been super about remaining in place and trying to keep as safe as possible.
Okay, so we got a phone call. Okay, good morning, caller.
Well, good morning, Doc, and good morning, Mike. This is Linda Spalding.
Linda.
Mike, I think Fredonia Place is just phenomenal. It is just an unbelievably beautiful, comfortable, exciting place. It really is.
Lots of adjectives in there.
Thank you.
It's like someone said, it's like being on a cruise that never docks.
Well, wait till you see our new place in Fredonia. It's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, in Williamsville, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Williamsville. Yeah, well, that will be good. There's a demand there.
Yeah. It's a big building, huge building, so.
Well, Doc, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl?
Who do I think or who do I want?
Keep in mind the Bills aren't in it anymore. So yeah.
I'm going to go with KC because they're representing our conference. I guess that's the right term. Is the
They're
conference?
a pretty tough team.
Yeah. I've never been a Brady fan. There, I said it. And but I don't know, Mike. How do you call it?
I'm going for the Bucks because Gronkowski is a Buffalo boy. I actually played football with his dad many years ago in high school.
Oh my gosh!
And the fact that the Chiefs eliminated us from the Super Bowl, so I can live with Tom Brady.
There you have a split decision.
Yeah.
And Linda, what's your call?
I don't know. I still want the Bills.
Don't we all? Okay. Well, it should be fun no matter what. As I always say, I don't have a dime invested, and when the game's all over, whoever loses still gets millions of dollars.
That's right.
So,
There you go.
That's right.
I'm good.
And we sit home and eat pizza and wings.
We're buying their shirts and their merchandise
That's
and
right.
stuff. Like whatever.
Yeah, well, it should be a nail biter. It should be close.
I hope it is. I always enjoy a good close Super Bowl. So these blowouts like 56-10 or something.
Yeah.
That's like,
Yeah, no, I don't like those. I just wanted to announce that about the senior employment program. You know, it hasn't stopped. It's just been turned over to the Goodwill of Western New York.
Right.
And they're going to be sending people out here, and I'm in contact with them. And Denise Wood is their case manager, and they're still, you know, taking things over and starting up. But I would like to have them make an appearance or call or something when they're ready.
well, absolutely. Give me their. You know, when the time comes, let's get them on the show and
Yeah.
you know, get them incorporated. So, if somebody's interested in the program, do they still go through your old office, your former office? I should
Well,
say,
they
not old office.
can. They can, although I'm not working out of the office
Right.
anymore.
Okay.
But, you know, people are calling me at home.
Mhm.
But what's been happening is a lot of times people will call the Office for Aging New York Connect, or if they just call 44753-4471, they'll switch them to New York Connect. And then New York Connect will automatically email that information to Denise at the Goodwill.
Oh, that's good. That's good to
Yeah.
know. Okay, great. All right, so there's a connection in New York Connects.
Yeah, I'm not forgetting this wonderful program.
Good.
It's been successful for 45 years.
Yeah. Okay, super. Well, thanks for that tip, and we'll be looking forward to hopefully having her or someone on the show.
Yeah. Well, thank you, and have a great weekend, and have fun watching the Super Bowl.
All right.
You too.
Thanks. All right. Thanks, Lynn.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. Yeah, I wouldn't put any money on this game. I have no idea.
No.
I think it's too close. I really don't care.
Yeah, same here. It doesn't affect our lives one way or another when all is said and done, but it's still fun.
We use the term assisted living. What does that mean?
It's, first of all, it's not a nursing home.
Okay.
It's not a nursing home, and yet we provide assistance, we provide medical assistance, we take care of your medications, those types of things. We have some people that don't need any help at all.
Okay.
We have some people that need, for instance, we had a lady who had severe arthritis, couldn't get dressed in the morning, couldn't prepare in the morning. Once she's dressed, once she's up, everything's great. The rest of the day,
just get her jump started.
didn't need anything at night when it's time to go to bed. We have some people that need more. We are enhanced license, which means we can do things, more medical things, open wound care. We can give some medications that we normally couldn't get before we were enhanced, those types of things. And we have some people that are electronic scooter, really don't leave the building too much. We'll leave with family and friends. And as I said, we have some that are very active. So it's not independent living. It's not a nursing home. It's in between.
Now you use the term enhance. Is that something new?
Not really. It's just the licensings, and you can have an assisted living license and not be enhanced.
But
for Fredonia Place, we're about ready, by the way. Next time I'm here, it'll be a 20th anniversary, 20 years.
Yeah.
But we did not have an enhanced license. We've had it probably now 5 years, 6 years.
Okay.
So it's relatively new for us.
All right.
It allows people really to remain in place longer. They don't have to go to the skilled level quite as, if you're at that skilled level, obviously you've got to go to a skilled facility. But there's things we can do to help prevent that progress.
I've talked with people over the years about helping their parents to move to another residence, and they're very frustrated at times because, for instance, they might have Alzheimer's and they may need skilled nursing. And there's nothing local, so they got to go out of state, how does that all work? I mean, where do you start with all this?
Skilled nursing is its own entity, and that's where we're more nurses than aides, as opposed to us being probably more aides than nurses.
So someone could leave your facility to go to a skilled nursing if their health were due.
Exactly, and that's even though we provide or can have hospice in the building. Skilled nursing is Give you an example. Easy definition is, right now, if you're at Fredonia Place, I can help you get up, get up for the day, get in your walker, your scooter, whatever you're doing. Temporarily, if you're recovering from surgery, something like that, we can use a wheelchair. Can't use a wheelchair 7 days a week and do it on your own.
Okay.
Okay. I can help you get up in bed. If you had to do the hospital lift of rolling up the sheet with 3 people, can't do that. That's skilled.
Right.
If your easiest way is if your incontinence is so uncontrollable that a nurse or an aide is on it 8 hours a day or more. If you are restricted to bed rest, can't get out of bed at all, skilled nursing. If you're unable to be mobile within so many steps, that type of thing, I think it's like 100 steps down the hall you have to be able to do without, and can't do it without a walker, can't do it. Those all would be skilled situations.
Who says you're this or that? Is it
primary care physician, case managers? We work together. We work together with families. My story is always, my mom went to Fredonia Place after my dad died in Buffalo. We moved her to Fredonia, where my wife and I live. She was in an apartment complex, started showing signs of, this time of year, 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock at night, very much the same. Very, very early stages of dementia, very early stages. Moved her to Fredonia Place, got her on her meds, which are very important, the way they're supposed to be. That was a sign. You show up and say, did you take your medications? Yes.
Sure.
Okay, well, Monday's still in the box and this is Wednesday. Those types of things. Nutrition, meals with medication, before, after, whatever the doctors say. Those are very important. I didn't really think they used to be until I now take them. And whether you eat before, after, all of that's important. So we manage that for you. When we got her to decide, she had a couple ideas of where she wanted to go. Fredonia Place was one of them. When she moved to Fredonia Place, everything changed. Okay, a lot of early Alzheimer's dementia can be stress related too, early stages. She lived for 5.5 years on assisted living. Actually had met a very nice man. He used to go out for ice cream and go down by the lake and sit there and watch that. The difference being, when the dementia got to the point where, because she could leave the building merely by saying, I'm going outside, signing out, it was determined by our case manager and our primary care physician that there's the opportunity she could leave the building, even with a friend, and not know how to get back. Okay, now she's a danger to herself.
Right.
So even though she was able to live on assisted living for 5.5 years.
That's a long time.
Okay, with dementia, but it was, that could be objected to. If I say, John, what day is this? If I'm retired, I don't care what day it is necessarily.
Every day is Saturday.
And recently, I really don't care who the presidents are anymore. Presidents, But I mean, so those types of things are key signs. But if you're retired and you're living on your own, it's not necessarily the determining factor. So when we start to see those things progress, we have a doctor that comes to the facility twice a month. We have residents that go see their doctors on a regular basis. Sometimes doctors notice things, sometimes staff notice things. The staff notice my mother. Like, your mom's packing boxes, that type of thing. Okay, why? And I'd go up and ask her, and she'd say, well, I'm just thinking of change of scenery maybe. Where were you going? I don't know. Warning signs. I fought it, even with our staff. I said, no, I don't think it's time for her to go to memory care. She's been in memory care for almost 3 years now. And she's got just as many friends. She still interacts with assisted living on special events, those types of things. If she gets to the point that she's bedridden, time to go to skilled nursing. And we will work with the family long before that happens, hopefully. If it's a stroke, something like that all of a sudden something changes. But we communicate with families very well. They communicate with us, and we determine what's the best.
So I'm assuming with the network, then you would help the family pick a skilled nursing location.
Yes and no. By New York State law, you're not allowed to make
You
suggestions.
provide information.
But we kind of help guide them through the process of
Right.
what's the difference. Just what we're talking about here. What's the difference about where mom is today and where mom or dad need to be in 2 months or a month or 3 months.
Okay, so that is sort of like a little bit on the extreme end of things. So let's roll back the tape, and let's just say somebody is watching right now, or somebody has parents or family members that they're getting to the point where they're getting really tired of living where they're living, and it's getting too much. All those things that you said. Where do they start? I mean, they're perfectly healthy. They're sound in body and mind. They do their own finances. They're pretty independent. So how do you start this whole process?
Always how are you doing? How's things going? Have that talk with mom and dad, or even yourselves. And how's your life? How's your quality of life? Could you use a little more socialization? Is it very difficult for you to shovel, to do these things? Are you putting out a lot of expense paying people to do that for you? Because again, it's not the old nursing homes where you're going.
Right.
So what's your lifestyle right now? Where do you see it? Dad, where do you see yourself 3 years from now? Where do you see that? Okay, we're seeing things that are really concerning.
Let's say everybody
You know.
agrees, like, yeah, we're there, we're there. So now what happens? What do you do?
Call any facility, call me and say, right now we'd like to do a virtual tour because we're not doing live in-person tours, but I do a good virtual tour.
Of course you do.
We take you through every inch of whatever you're looking for. We take you through the whole building.
All right, so how
and we
do you
talk
do the
about
virtual
that.
tour? I mean, so if somebody says, okay, let's do the virtual tour, so do you have is it like Zooming?
1,000 different ways. Your option. What works best for you? Is it Zoom? Is it FaceTime on your phone? Is it all the different meeting things, Skype, all the different ways of doing that?
Okay.
I can actually videotape it and send it to you.
Wow.
So there's a lot of ways we can do that. If you say, well, we're just looking, the best thing for any facility you're thinking of is to get on their waiting list. Right now, because of COVID, we do have some openings. Not that people have passed, but people are at other levels and have gone to skilled levels.
Just through the natural
And we do have
course of
some
life.
openings. So it's always good to get an application in if there's any deposit that a facility requires. We require a $1,000 deposit with the application, but we don't cash the check until and if somebody moves in.
It holds.
And it goes to their first month's rent. And that's even if you're not ready now. If you say, I've decided on facility A, Fredonia Place. Okay, great. I'm really not ready right now. How would you like us to contact you? Because I'm not a used car salesman. I'm not going to call you every week and say, we got an opening. But if you tell me I want this one
but is your
bedroom with a
warranty
patio. Yeah. I can sell you a warranty. No. But if you decide I want this style apartment, or let me know when one of these two open, that's when we'll let you know.
Gotcha.
And you can turn around and say, not ready yet, or okay, we're ready. Keep in mind that some parents will always say, I'm not ready yet. We've had some in the past that, we feel guilty. And sometimes it's time to lay that, South Buffalo Irish guilt on them and say,
For the love of Mike.
That's what we did. We sat down and had the conversation with mom and said, not only was the stress on her evident, the stress on us. And sometimes because they're nurturing parents, they will say, I understand.
The caregivers, I think, are under more pressure sometimes than the resident.
So it's not to guilt parents into it. It's to try to come to the reality that not only are you suffering, we're suffering for you and with you. So that's one way, and that's just have an honest conversation. And it's difficult in some families because a lot of families, you don't have that intimacy of talking to mom and dad about how's things going, how's your finances, how are you doing. So for many, it's a first time discussion.
Okay.
And it can be difficult.
Question just came through my earpiece. So let's say a person gets on your wait list, and as you said, you give them a call. Do they go to the bottom of the list and start all over again, or how's that work?
There's really, if there's really, you've got what we call 3 strikes before you move up or down the list.
Oh.
But it all depends. For 4 years, we were at anywhere from 96 to 100% occupancy.
Yeah, you were telling me,
And, but keep in mind that if there's 5 people ahead of you that say, not right now, we're going to call you. So the wait list is really subjective. We go by the date of the application as to where you are in that list.
Yeah.
But some people are on memory care. Some people are specifically looking for a smaller apartment, a larger apartment. Some people are looking at times of year. So even though you may be a new applicant, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to get in next month or next week if you wanted to.
But the key is get on the list.
Make the call.
Make the call.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, myth that we talk about every time, and I still hear this to this day, I can't go there because I can't afford it.
Yeah.
So what's your response to that?
Well, you've got folks that are calling into this show that are willing to help. Office of the Aging can tell you about things that are available to you through the state, through the VA. I had someone who worked for the Chautauqua County VA who said, I didn't know that this benefit was available, back, and she was a veteran, and there are VA benefits available for those that qualify. Qualifications change every few years. Cost of living kind of makes that go up and down. Talk to a facility. Don't be afraid to talk to a facility about if you're Social Security only, and there are facilities that are specific for that. We are what's known as a private pay, so it's either direct deposit or check, that type of thing. Long-term health care insurance. See if you have it. See if your parents have it. If you are our age or younger and you don't have it, get it, because it can be a lifesaver. Check and see if your insurance covers things. So we always can sit down and say, what are you looking at? I will tell you that nobody in this business are bloodsuckers where we want to take your last dime. Particularly in the assisted living and memory care type of situation, it's not that type of business. We are not allowed to do that. We were not allowed to say, okay, well, you can remain here, and once your funds are drained, we put you on Social Security. Because of our licensing, we're not allowed to do that, and many facilities aren't. But we also realize that our pricing right now is on the lower third of pricing in New York State. So, and yet we're still not affordable for some people. Yeah. But there are facilities out there that will take you that way.
So there are some choices.
Yeah.
I sat one day and we were figuring out what would it cost per day if you put all of your expenses, your food, everything. Well, it's really not that expensive.
That's a biggie. We found out between, my mom had a house. We obviously sold her house, and so she was living in an apartment in Fredonia. We looked at everything. Cable, gas, she had her car, she had all these other things. She was actually saving $180 by being at Fredonia Place per month than she was living on her own. We provide 3 meals a day, we provide 2 snacks a day. There's activities where there's food involved and things of that nature. So I can tell you from personal experience, you're not going to lose a lot of weight being at Fredonia Place, because just the kitchen crew is really great.
Yep, Mike, we're down to the last minute here. So why don't you give them a phone number if they want to give you a holler, and anything you want to tell folks?
Sure. One, keep in mind, as I said, that mom and dad will always take a look at this, is that now's not the time. And as my friend Greg Prowse always said when he was with us, is it's never too early, but it can be too late. So give us a call at 672-0007. That's 672-0007, whether you're looking at Fredonia or Williamsville location. We would like to thank our staff and their families for everything that they've done to try to keep our residents safe, and have successfully done so, knock on wood, by the grace of God. It could all change overnight right now. Okay. But it's been stressful on a lot of folks. So there is help. You're not alone, and if you feel that this is something you want to do, you're not committed until you make the decision that this is what you want to do. And it doesn't hurt just to talk and make a phone call. Perfect. Or you can go on our website at fredoniaplace.com.
All right, thanks, Mike. Folks, you've been watching Chautauqua Sunrise. My very good friend and guest today has been Mike Ferguson, and he's from Fredonia Place, both locations in Fredonia and Williamsville.
Yep.
Soon to be open. What's the date on that one?
As soon as New York State.
As soon as possible. Yes. We're going to do this all again next week, and we got some musical guests on their way, getting ready to show up next week. Hope you have a great weekend. Stay safe, and as always, wear the mask. We'll see you here, right here on Channel 1301. check us out on the radio, and go to our Facebook, YouTube, wherever media is, we're there. Take care now. Bye-bye.